Okay. So the last time we met, your party, which I think you're calling yourself Earth, Wind, and Shire. I heard that.
Yes.
I don't know if that's been officially adopted by the whole group.
By me.
But that is what I understand. Earth, Wind, and Shire found themselves in the village of Bryson, where they got to do some shopping. Shopping led to a brief encounter at the Taylor and Mast store, where the party met Sherry Fay, the shop girl, who helped them with basic supplies, including tiny tarts and components that would allow your artificer to attempt to make dark vision goggles out of leathers, mason jars, and whatever mysticism he brings with him from the area. The party also had a lengthy conversation with a Dr. Robert Campbell, who bargains with them on a seemingly one-sided deal that benefits the party. They got 2 healing potions for free and a list of components to find and bring back to the doctor on their journeys ahead. Returning back to the Tuck Inn and Tavern, Rain successfully crafts 2 pairs of goggles of night that will facilitate this dark vision for those of you who do not have it innately. While this is happening, Quill has used his amazing perception to get a sense of what's going on around them and seems to think that, based on a really good roll, that you guys will be safe that night, which you were. While that was going on, Jack, of course, is at the bar doing shots and putting the moves on anything that moves within proximity of him that is of a different gender.
No. Hold on. I don't discriminate.
Okay.
It's very rude of you to assume.
Fair. I stand corrected on the pronouns. And while this is happening, Hal begins to sort of work the room, but nobody's really biting on his approach, but they all keep looking at the corner. Hal, sensing this, goes and sits in the corner and meets Henry Taylor, the owner of Taylor and Mast, that the place you had been earlier in the day, and Henry gives him some advice, which is, number one, he's seen a lot of adventurers go off with the Vistani on that road to nowhere, but not return. Number two, he tells them that Sherry is his niece and to stay away from her as she is a good girl, which he says everyone agrees except for Jack, I think, at this point. But finally, he says, truthfully, trust no one, not even him. And with that, he finishes his drink and left the bar. The next morning, the party leave Bryson with their guide, Ernest T. Basova, and they begin to make their way up the road to nowhere. And after a brief encounter with 2 berserkers where a battle ensues and Ernest almost falls, but shows his ability to survive, his willingness to survive, and his interest not only in protecting himself, but protecting the party. However, not long after the encounter, they notice the mists closing in behind them as you head towards what you begin to see emerging as the gates of Barovia. The gates open up. The party makes the choice to enter in. And upon doing so, the gates closed behind them. traveling a little bit ways in through the gates, they find themselves on an old, seemingly well-traveled road. They get a whiff of death. And they find a body clutching a letter that they have read from the Burgermeister of Barovia. At least that's what it's signed. And as they are investigating this body and in looking at these materials, you begin to notice a tall, raven-haired, pale-skinned individual with 2 dire wolves who introduces himself as the lord of this land, Strahd von Zarovich himself. After a brief discussion and a little bit of supplication on Ernest's part, Strahd lets you on your way into Barovia. But he does remind you that you are now in his lands, and that you would all be smart to remember that during your stay. You move on into Barovia, and as you look behind you, some of you with the high perception notice Strahd is gone, but there seems to be a swarm of bats leaving up into the sky away from you, going back towards Barovia. But you see those 2 dire wolves go and basically set sentinel at the body. And from there, you question Ernest and his intentions and what he knows and what he doesn't know. And he gave you some information that is in the insight check proved to be, if not truthful, at least truth from his point of view. And that is where I believe we pick up our story.
Did we keep that letter?
Yes, you did. It is in the breast pocket of, I believe, Quill or Hal. Quill has it.
Okay.
Right here.
Do we need that? Do we need that read again?
Oh, let's see.
Wasn't it a love letter?
It was not a love letter. No, it was a letter from the Burgermeister.
Oh.
Let me find it. Let's see here.
I have Irina
Kolyana.
Kolyana.
Here we go. I got it. I'll if you look at your your screens on Roll20, you'll see the letter. I will read it to you because I have a non-fancy cursive version of it.
About the love of his life.
Hail,
Gotcha.
so hail, yeah. So he's talking about his daughter. Hail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead for thy so desperately needed assistant, because evidently he was writing this during the time of Shakespeare. The love of my life, and he means this in a fatherly way, clearly. Irina Kolyana has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of the village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wound, and I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth in this community. I offer all that might be had to thee and thy fellows, if thou shalt but answer my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. All that I have shall be thine. Kolyan Indirovich, Burgermeister.
Probably a good thing that it's not a love letter then.
Yeah. Phew.
So do we assume that this is to the Strahd, or
We didn't really find out where that person was going because they're dead
right?
And guarded
Yeah.
by wolves, yeah.
and guarded by wolves.
Right.
But it didn't say. It's not addressing anybody in the letter, right?
It could be a service letter or like a poster board notification, and this guy just happened to get a copy. as he was trying to solve the evil.
Sort of a to
Yeah.
whom it may concern, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took it as a general plea for help, not to an individual.
Gotcha.
So he might not be the only person who's gotten this letter.
So who knows how long this has been here?
The guy, the
Would
the
somebody
dead guy was still not a skeleton.
Okay.
would somebody be able to do a medicine check to see how long the body's been dead? Medicine, nature.
Well,
We've already
We'd have to fight the dire wolf.
you'd have to
get-
fight the, yeah. However, I believe at the time you did get a little bit of information about that. I believe.
Yeah.
Did Ernest tell us who it was?
I don't think Ernest knew, honestly.
Oh, okay.
We could tell that he'd been clawed and raked. There were
The description said the man had obviously been dead for several days.
yep.
Okay.
Crows had been at the body and had feasted.
Gross.
Bad
And
news.
it was enough for us to be very ripe and for us to
Yeah, because there was a smell.
yeah. We were following
Okay.
that up the road, so
And the time of the deceased demise doesn't tell us how old the letter is anyway.
True.
Also
Letter
true.
could be 3 years old.
Does Ernest know about the letter? Does he know about the situation in the letter?
I believe he said he knew about the who the Burgermeister was, but that he had never met him. I believe that was what he had told you.
Okay. And doesn't know about the situation with his daughter?
You would need to ask him that.
Oh, I can ask him that. Hey, Ernest. Did you know about this? The Burgermeister's daughter?
I don't really know about him. I mean, I have heard of him, of course. You know, we Vistani, we kind of keep to ourselves and don't go into town too often.
You guys don't have that many friends, huh?
Oh no, we have plenty of friends, and we do go into town occasionally. But it's to get a random piece of fruit, and break a few windows if we can. I'm just kidding, of course. We wouldn't do that in the daytime.
You get more than one fruit, right? Only one fruit would be weird. Why would you go into town for just one piece of fruit? That's weird.
You don't know. Judging me?
I mean, I'm not, but I totally am. Like, just why one? And what kind of fruit? Is it like a watermelon where it could last you a while, or is it like an apple where you eat it and you're done?
Jack, I think he was being facetious.
I don't know what that means.
Fair enough.
Clearly.
Does it mean like he's fast? Like
Yeah,
really fast?
something like that.
Ah, gotcha. All right.
Let's-
Man, you guys are great. Thanks for helping all the time.
So if you look at your Roll20 maps, you should see approximately where you are, what you've been able to see up until this point. Is everything else black for everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Everything's
perfect.
black.
It's been
Except you do see the red ampersand, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There it is.
that's you guys.
Hey.
we're the party, but it doesn't say Earth, Wind, and Shire.
I can fix that.
But
Does
there's
it-
a big
you should.
ampersand, so I'm guessing that's the and of Earth, Wind, and Shire.
You should
Oh,
put
yeah.
Earth, Wind, D&D ampersand. Shire. I'm telling you how to run this game now.
That was good, yeah.
I with Photoshop anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
One moment, please.
Yeah. All right. Although my Photoshop's there, is that better now? Happy now?
Close enough.
Okay.
There you
I'll
go.
accept.
Ooh.
I'll accept
Good
on.
job.
I will accept on last minute situations. Last minute additions.
Be careful being on the receiving end of my Photoshop skills. It did not go well for a friend of mine this week.
I'm curious.
You made something very dirty.
I
It wasn't dirty.
it was
Oh.
not dirty. I'll show you guys when we're not on the record. Okay, so so you're on this on this map. I'm just trying to give you guys a sense of where you are. So I'll be using this large map of Barovia because with the dynamic lighting capabilities of Roll20, you will only be able to see the 8 places that you've been. So as you begin to map out Barovia in this campaign, you'll have a sense of knowing where you are and where you've been. So you guys are here on what Ernest tells you. Well, I'm sorry, I interrupted. You were talking to Ernest about this letter. Did you have any other questions for him?
No, just like he knows about the Burgermeister and the Burgermeister's daughter, but
he knows who she is.
Burgermeister-
He knows who he is, and he does know who of her. I mean, you know, everybody.
But he doesn't know that she was sick.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't know
And so I guess the last thing I would ask is like, so when it says evil, is that like something you guys say down here? What does that mean? Like, is there really something spooky in her or about her? Is she a ghost?
I know that this is your first time in Barovia, but I can tell you that, you know, this is not like the places that you have come from.
Yeah, I'm from far north. I don't know what you guys mean when you say stuff sometimes.
And you saw the Lord of this land. To some, he is the Lord. To others, he is the devil himself. And we just like to stay in the middle, out of all that, and just kind of keep to ourselves in the middle.
Wait, long-haired guy was the devil?
Some people think that. He, you know, not everybody
Nobody
not
likes-
everybody likes the ruler of their land.
Knew I didn't like it.
So I don't know what afflicts her, but clearly somebody was trying to help her, and it cost him
He didn't do a good
more
job
than
of
I
helping
would
her.
be willing to pay. You saw how the respect that I gave Lord Strahd, and that is how you stay alive.
Duly noted.
So, we are on the old Sphalic Road. Some people call it Svalich because they don't know how it's pronounced. They see the spelling and they go, that must be a ch sound. But it's Sphalic.
And what is that?
At least that's what
spelling?
my granny told me. Sphalic, Svalich, Sphalic.
Well, I spelled it right.
Feel like I'm doing the southern spelling bee. PN.
Phonics.
Of course, that's that.
Great. And I'm going to have to put a link below to it's a southern thing in the southern spelling bee.
There you go. Yeah.
I will have to remember that now.
Hey,
Exactly.
Sphalic Road.
So we're on the Sphalic Road.
Oh.
Now, I will tell you, this road takes us through the village of Barovia, but we can kind of walk off of this road down into a field and bypass the village and just make our way to the bridge crossing at the Ilvis River. And I can take y'all to my granny, which is what I've agreed to do, or we can go through the village of Barovia and see if there's, if there's anything to this that you want to look into. I'm okay either way, but I just didn't know if y'all wanted to bypass the village initially and maybe come back to it.
I feel like we've got time to see Granny, right?
Yeah, I
let's
definitely
go
want to
see
do
Granny.
both. Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
see Granny.
Yeah.
Granny's got good food, probably.
I'd say that we start with our initial mission, and then let's come back to this letter thing. We're not really even sure what the status on this is.
Okay.
You know, Granny's been around here for a while, so she might have. Maybe she might know more about this Burgermeister and his daughter. Let's go talk to her.
That's also a good point.
Here.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I just need to add those to my list. Okay. So you're on the Sphalic Road, and you have made the decision to bypass the village. So I'm going to kind of give you a sense of that. It would take you all from where you are on that map to where the village is, where you will find Ernest's people. It's about, I'd say it's about a 2.5 hour walk from where you are. Okay.
Sure.
So, given that, we're probably going to need to make a few checks along the way. Make sense?
Yep.
Sounds good.
But it is still daytime. There is still mists in the woods around you, but as you stay to the road and as you make your way away from the forest, then I'll kind of, move this along down. Whoops. Let me do this. Sorry. Roll 20 as your friend when you know how to use it. So I would say that you guys walk this far out of the woods. And let me kind of center it on the map for you so you don't get lost at the bottom of your screen. And you notice, particularly those of you who have some better vision, you noticed as you come out of the woods that you're kind of in a more of a field opening, and you can hear the water in the distance that appears to be south of you. And you assume that based on what Ernest was telling you, that is likely the Ilvis River. I need somebody to roll a D20, please.
Any purpose of that roll?
That means you
Don't
get to
tell
roll
us.
it. You get to roll
Yeah,
it.
it sounds like you
That's
kind of
it,
volunteered
yeah.
for that.
Come on, Quill.
Go for it, Cliff.
Yep, it's all you, man.
All right. I'll roll me 20.
I was waiting for somebody to do.
Wow.
When I saw James looking down, I assumed he was going to do it.
I rolled a 4. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
We're doomed.
Unless that means it's only 4 enemies
Ooh, that would be good too.
and not 20 enemies.
Not 20. Yeah.
I'm not that lucky. And I'm almost sure that that's.
And I know Joe well enough that that's not the case. He wouldn't give us
No.
the option of how many enemies we fought.
The road appears to be unimpeded, and you do not notice anything that
Hold on now.
catches your interest.
Would I know anything?
You stop and you listen, and you hear the breeze, and you hear the birds. Most of the birds you notice appear to be more blackbirds, crow, ravenish type.
I'm still scared from that lady raven person. Like terrified. Is it similar to those ravens?
The lady raven.
I have it written down. The Baba Hansith?
It's that is pronounced
Bavanshi.
Bavanshi.
Ah.
And she was able to turn into a raven when she flew away. Yes,
Are there?
but
are these
that was
ravens?
more due to her being a Bavanshi than anything else.
Okay.
But these just appear to be regular birds.
Listen, I'm like scarred for life with
Understood.
ladies and ravens at this point. So
You didn't seem that scarred with the ladies back in Bryson. I'm just saying.
yeah, I don't learn my lessons. I'm scarred, but I don't learn my lessons well. I'm probably more scared of the actual ravens than the girls.
You're playing a guy perfectly then.
It's like I know how to do this. All right.
Okay, so nothing, and so now y'all will. So that's about maybe a little bit of the journey there. You move a little further along the road, and we'll move that down, and you see for the next 30 minutes or so You can sort of see at this point in the distance the buildings and maybe some early farmlands that would indicate that you're headed towards the village of Barovia. And it's at this point that Ernest suggests that y'all get off the main road to bypass the village, that he knows of a pathway that takes you from here down towards the Ilvis that will allow you guys to basically emerge on the far side of Barovia without having to go through the village. And so y'all begin to move that way towards the river. And I would like somebody else to please roll a d20.
I'll do it this time.
Oh.
17.
17.
I like that number a lot better.
Yeah, me
if
too.
If it's not
If it's not a
enemies,
bad reason, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so since you rolled a 17, I need you to please roll
Yep.
a d12
Uh-oh.
and then add a d8 to it, please.
The 12 is a 3. 8 total.
Okay. Grab the wrong kind of dice. Okay, so out of the wilderness, you hear as you're in this field bypassing the city, you know, as I mentioned, or the village rather, on the main road, you didn't really encounter the mist. But the minute you get off that road and begin to make your way into the grasslands and the fields and some of the lower trees, you find yourself back in a misty situation where the visibility is not as crisp as it had been on the main road. But Ernest assures you that this is the right way and the best way to go. But then you hear this clippity clop, almost like you know how a horse sounds in the field where you hear that vroom, 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 vroom.
But is it actually
horse.
horses or coconuts?
In this instance, it would be a horse. There is not a knight or a paladin and his squire
King,
with a couple of
sir,
coconuts.
A king.
I didn't vote for you.
Well.
Yeah.
You don't vote for king.
So anyway, so you hear this, and all of a sudden, let me take a look. Who's got the best perception? Wow, that would be Quill and Sash. And oh, by the way, Jack,
Yes.
that E minor flat chord starts playing again. And anybody within a few feet of Jack would hear that.
Hey guys, something's going to go down.
What?
I
Why
get
do
like
you say
really
that?
nervous.
I know, man, I know.
Do you
Mm.
need to stand closer to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
come to the bosom.
So
I mean, if you're offering.
Galota just grabs him and just like hugs him into her tit. I got you.
there you go. Okay, so what you see coming your way is two things. You see a what appears to be, and like I said, Sasha and Quill would have the best view of this just because of their perception and perhaps their visual acuity, and anybody else with any kind of visual acuity. You would notice that there is a skeleton riding a warhorse skeleton. So the description would be: through the mist, the skeletal warhorse and a rider, both clad in ruined chainmail. The skeletal rider holds up a rusted lantern that sheds no light. And it is riding toward you.
Gunloda wants to ask Ernest if he knows who that is. And if we should be worried.
And he says, and it's still kind of in the distance, but it's coming your way. He says, well, I've heard of this. I haven't seen this before, and I'm not really sure what to think.
Doesn't have a head.
But I think we could all just hide over here, and it will probably be all right.
Right? I'm not proud. I'm willing to
I'm
hide.
in favor of Give me 3 steps.
Yeah.
I will hide, but I have my sword ready and my shield.
Okay.
I'm in the same boat. I'll probably have my axe ready to go.
Okay.
Gunloaded's definitely ready.
So,
Do we want to hide and then us 3 in front of everybody else just in case?
Yeah.
Maybe even circling a little bit in case of an ambush.
So what I would like for everybody to do, please, just for fun, is just make a stealth check, please. Since you're hiding.
Oh, no.
I have disadvantage because I'm wearing chainmail. So do I just roll 2?
You just roll 2 and you take the lower number.
Ooh.
22. I'm a stealthy boy.
Did I do it twice? Oh, damn! I did do it.
I'm not
twice.
stealthy. Oh, I am just not stealthy.
Wait, did it roll it twice for me?
Yeah, it looks like it did. Because it's popping up for 2. Oh, yeah, I see. It's because 18, 11 on the first one, 5, 13. It automatically does it for you.
Yeah,
How
there you
cool is
go.
that?
So may I take the 11?
No, you may not take the.
It was her first roll.
No, it was my first. It rolled twice for me.
Oh,
It
yes,
said 18,
yes,
11
yeah,
on the
I
first
see.
roll.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was reading the bottom one. Hal got a 2
Yeah.
with his +1, so that means you probably got a natural 1.
Ooh, yeah, you did. You crit failed.
Yeah.
That's why it's red.
Yeah.
I was wondering why it was red.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is, yep.
All right. 10 for rain. All right.
Can I put these in? I can't put them in dice jail. That's the weird thing about the digital world.
Mm.
That's why I don't use
Just
digital dice.
Throw out your computer.
Yeah.
That's
Although-
dice jail.
They have new toys now that you can use with D&D Beyond that are remote
Actual
dice.
dice jails?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
virtual dice jail.
Yeah.
Like you roll them, but they're
Bluetooth dice.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I've seen those
That's
because
cool.
they'll automatically calculate for you. I've seen those. Those are cool. Joe, you showed those to me, right?
I'm
Sure.
surprised Joe doesn't have them yet.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know, this is the one old school thing I'm going to keep. Old school. Okay.
Says the guy with the old school computer behind him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I didn't even see the Mac.
yeah.
I
Okay.
grew up on that.
Me too. Probably earlier than you did. Okay. So, the skeletal rider on the horse continues forth across the field and is sort of, he or it is coming from, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the map that I can see. That's your map. He's probably coming from about here. If you see that little pulse on your map.
Mhm. Yep.
And I'm going to actually,
Are we hiding in the spot we're in?
I assume, well, there's low grass and there's cover and such.
Apparently, I'm not hiding at all. So.
Yeah, I was going to say,
He's waving
so,
his arms around.
Hey!
Oh,
so
well.
that horse kind of gets to here and just sort of can't, it's cantering along and then just kind of abruptly comes to a halt. And that scene in Lord of the Rings when they're hiding under the bridge or they're hiding off the main road and the rider comes through, the Nazgul is looking for the Hobbit and they kind of sniff around. That's kind of what this looks like, only instead of that black cloak, it's this rusty chainmail and he's got the lantern and he's holding it out and he kind of, looks to the left, looks to the right, and he's holding it out, looking as if the light is going to reveal where you all are. And these two eye sockets just lock on Hal.
But he does have a head.
He does have a head.
Okay, cool.
And the
Not dealing
horse
with you.
has a head, and you know, and he's just staring where Hal is.
Well, he's looking at me. Hail.
Son of a bitch. Were you hiding with us?
So
I'm not hiding at all, apparently.
Oh, okay.
you say hail to the skeletal rider, and the skeletal rider, holding up his lantern, lowers it, and he nods, and then you see his bone feet click into the side of the horse, and he continues on as if he is headed towards Barovia.
And Loda says, "Well done. Slow clap on you."
I get a golf clap.
I gotta say, sir, that was very something.
Guys, he just said hail. That's it.
Yeah, but I suspect if we would have taken a preemptive strike, it would have gone badly for us.
I don't think we would have.
I was feeling the badly, yeah.
I agree.
So I went with a different pair of consonants in the middle of that word there.
Okay, so,
Okay.
so yeah, y'all successfully avoid an encounter with a skeletal rider on a skeletal warhorse, and you know, you see Ernest kind of comes up from his hiding place, and oh, by the way, I failed to roll for Ernest on his stealth check, so y'all please keep me honest on that. I will have a lot of NPCs that I have to deal with in this campaign, so.
One. Does it matter?
Nah.
Yeah, somebody got a 1 in the
He
group.
rolled a 2.
Yeah.
That's fair. But he comes up out of his hiding place. Actually, he rolled a 2, so he wasn't hit that well either. And you can tell that there is a sense of there has been a sense of anxiety on his face when the rider came up and he was sort of discombobulated and explaining to you about this, because, like I said, in his mind, he has heard of this before, but this was really the first time he had ever encountered it. Also, there seems to be a sense of relief that the rider has gone on, but there is that still sense of urgency. We the road is right over this way. We should make our way.
Rose, you already asked him if he knew who that was, right?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
If he knew who the rider was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if we should be concerned.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, again, there's so you recall the conversation that you had with him earlier, where he said that Barovia is a land unlike the land you came from. And I think that the experience that you all just had with this skeletal rider is indicative of that reality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would it be worth anything to ask if he knew what it was?
You're welcome to ask him.
Do you know what it was?
Well, you know, I'm just a guide, but to me it looked like a skeleton on a horse that was also a skeleton. I didn't even get to say, you know, how do you do? I just let it go on.
I think you were too scared to say, how do you do?
I did, and I still did. I was scared shitless.
I'm gonna write down that word. How did you say it? Hail?
Hail.
That can mean a lot of different things here.
Well,
Sometimes I'm afraid that I live in hail.
well, and speaking
Yeah.
of Southern spelling bees, this is another one of them. Yeah.
Sometimes it's ice from the sky.
So
Let's head on to Granny's.
You head on to Granny's,
Yes.
and so you make
Lead
your way a
on.
little bit further on, and you come out of the woods, or the fields, I should say, relatively unscathed. Did y'all hear that lovely noise?
I did.
Okay, I need to
Ruin the immersion.
I know, right? I'm sorry. It's. I need to. I thought
Kitty!
I thought Facebook wouldn't do that. Okay, so so you find yourself on the main road now, back on the main road. So now, as you look behind you, you can sort of see in the distance on the road the village, and so you feel like you've just sort of cut across the area, and that the village is probably somewhere where that pulse is. To kind of give you guys a sense of where you are. So you find yourself at a crossing of the Ilvis River. And
Elvis or eldest?
Ilvis. Or
Elvis.
Ivlis. Ilvis. Ivlis. I'm sorry. I can't even read my own words here. Ivlis.
Oh,
Now
it's-
I'm
We'll
gonna
forgive you.
now I'm gonna call it the Elvis River for the rest of
Well,
this
it's
campaign,
been in my
which
mind,
does sort
yeah.
of fit. You know.
There's a whole pompadour going on in that.
Thank you very much. All right, lousy Elvis impersonator. That's what I have to look forward
We're
to.
not voice actors.
I said that at the beginning of the first one.
You sure did.
Okay, so you are now at a crossing of the Ivlis River, and I'm sure that there's other ways to pronounce it as well. That everybody in the world of D&D probably has their own opinion on this. But you continue to cross. But what you do notice though is that you're kind of coming back into more of a wooded area, and so you make your way further down the road. During this part, and I would like for one more check to be made for a D20, please.
I got it.
Please.
Good job.
I threw it off the table.
Nice.
Sweet. It doesn't count unless it's a 20.
Woo! It is a nat 20.
There you go.
You see all the shit. Sweet.
Okay, a nat 20. That's
Wait, hold on. I rolled really well and something bad showed up.
Also true.
So I need you to please roll a D12 and a
Yes,
D8,
please.
please.
Oh man.
Wait, say that again.
I need you to roll a D12 and then
Uh-huh.
and then a D8, please.
A
Maybe it should have
12
been
and
me.
an 8.
Yeah, a 1 or a 2 would have been better, maybe.
All right, let's see.
Apparently a
Well,
4 is
then
great.
You can count on me to roll a 4 just about any time.
All right, a 10 and a 5.
15. Okay. What you notice, and actually, Sashana and Quill, again, because of you both have a perception of about 14. Everybody else is a bit below that, although Rain's at 13 and Gunloda's at 13. So really, most of you would notice it's really Hal and Jack that would perhaps
Not noticed.
struggle. Well, they have
Sorry,
11s.
man.
I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, y'all are all kind of in the same ballpark, but some of you are better than others, and so we just have to take that into mind. But you notice that stench that you first experienced when you came through the gates, and you just recognize that smell of death. Let's see. You smell it. What do you do?
I
Start
get
looking
really
around.
concerned something's dead. Yeah.
Does Gunloda smell it?
Yeah.
She said, "Pew, something's stunk around here."
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see what it is that's all smelly like.
Okay. You don't really need to do an investigation check because the smell is kind of obvious. You find on the side of the road, again on the if you can see on your map, right around there to the north of where you are, there is another corpse. This one appears to also actually it's appears to be a woman. Look very similar in terms of facial features, complexion more than anything. That's probably a better way to say it. So you get the sense that this person perhaps is from Barovia, perhaps even from the same place that the previous corp was, but not necessarily related. I don't want you to think that it's related in any way, shape, or form. But this one was clearly torn to pieces by something that could tear it to pieces.
Like
Well,
a
I'm going to make the
direwolf?
leap that it's probably related. I'm not accustomed to finding dead bodies that have been, torn up on the side of the road.
I'm gonna say to Ernest, hey, Ernest, is this a normal thing in these parts?
Well, friends, it depends on what you mean by normal. We are used to death here. Finding corpses from time to time that have been taken by the wolves is not always a surprise to us. It does happen.
Ernest, are you sorry?
No, that's fine. I was just saying that my granny might be able to offer you more.
Are you saying you're used to that smell though? That is rank.
No, I'm not. That's fair. I have.
Just checking.
I understand. No, I feel that when I usually smell that smell, I go out of my way to avoid it.
Okay. Good.
There are certain things that I just assume not experience more than once, if I can help it.
I think we're on the same page there, Ernest. So.
Should
You-
we take a look at the body?
Sure. Yeah.
You guys can get near that thing. I ain't getting near it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a investigation on that.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me get my number there. There we go. That is going to be an 18 plus 5, so a 23.
23. Okay. It appears to be a woman who clearly has been ripped to shreds by either a wolf or a dire wolf. With that roll, you at least see some of the paw prints, and they seem to be rather large. So you're leaning towards the dire wolf, but you're not drawing a very specific conclusion there, perhaps. Her clothes would indicate that perhaps she lived in the village and perhaps worked somewhere. She kind of has one of those. She has like on a dress that you might see. Again, it's ripped to shreds, so it's not like all in one piece, but you can tell by the fabric and the coloring that doesn't have blood on it that it would have been sort of like a town dress, if you will. And there is an apron over the dress that would have led you to believe that maybe she worked at a market or some sort of not a livery, but some sort of a market store or some sort of like a butcher or a produce general store, kind of that kind of thing. But there's nothing. You don't notice anything of value. There's no jewelry. There's no handbag or a case or any kind of thing like that. There's no money or anything like that. I mean, this has been here a while. It's been ripped to shreds. It's probably, you notice some pieces of it have probably gone because of the carrion in the area, which does not give you any carry-in comfort. Sorry, I had to go there. So that's what you notice.
And does Ernest? Hey, Ernest. Do you know who this is?
No, she's clearly from one of the villages. And as I have said, I don't really hang out in the villages to know people. Usually when I go there, it's there at night, and I get in and get out.
Well, I guess we can just move on then.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. This is
So
not like this at all.
So the
Powerful smell.
So the road continues on, and even though when you left Bryson and started up the road to nowhere, there were switchbacks and there was elevation changes. This road is kind of in that same situation. You can tell you're still in a mountainous village, although most of what you've seen up until this point since you've come into the gates have sort of been like a cove, if you're familiar with what a cove is in the mountain. So it's a lot like that. But now as you kind of left the river, you do find yourself inclining again and kind of weaving your way up in elevation. And so you make your way around the curve, and you encounter the Ivlis River again. You can tell that it winds its way through, if you've just like they do in that part of North Carolina, the Tuck River, the Tuckasegee River, and the Acuna Lufty, and those. I mean, you encounter them in many spots. Or if you're on the Tennessee side, you'll see the Pigeon River. It's a lot like that, and so you're kind of looping your way around and finding that, and then you curve again, and you find your way towards this this crossroad where you can see the road begins to split. Rose.
Yes.
As you were approaching this crossroad, you begin to hear, before anybody else, this creaking noise. And like within a nanosecond of you hearing it, the rest of you hear it as well. But it's almost like this noise was calling out to Gunloda. And you hear this creaking noise behind you, and there's a gallows standing atop a rotting platform about 5 feet high, kind of off in the woods. And there are these wooden stairs leading up to it, and there are around it, about a dozen or so blank gravestones. But when you look up at the gallows where you hear this creak, there is this, where there was nothing before, you see this lifeless gray body hanging from the rope, and the breeze is turning the hanged figure. And as it turns around, Gunloda, you look up at it and see your own dead, lifeless eyes and face looking back at you, hanging from the gallows.
And it wasn't there a minute ago.
All of you see a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
And Loda sees herself.
No.
We just see a undescribable corpse.
So Gunloda, of course, goose pimples everywhere, but she goes straight down on one knee and just mutters some prayers to herself, reaches in and grabs a little sip of her moonshine, and she's just focused. She's not looking back at what she saw. She's just trying to focus herself and steady herself in her religion and just get a grip.
Okay. And as you look up, you see the same gray corpse that everybody else sees.
She does a little. I don't think she's Catholic, but
It's still unnerving, even if it's not there anymore.
And
Yeah.
as you all are
Kinda cool.
watching it, and after she has taken that sip and looks up and sees the clarity, the body just seems to melt away.
Gross.
Ernest,
And
what?
Ernest,
The fuck is this?
she is upset.
Ernest says, yeah.
Ernest, is
Yeah.
this a normal thing? I know you said there'd be weird things, but that was really weird. And
And he looks really confused.
oh, did you see that?
No. See what?
Fair enough.
The dead guy that disappeared.
Listen, can we just keep moving?
Well,
I don't even want to know. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. I have been telling y'all I'd like to get on our way. That there are
Do it.
things, and I have heard stories of people seeing things at the gallows. I've never personally seen them, and that's why I moved through here very quickly. So you
Ready to go.
you continue on.
Where do we go?
Yeah, we going left or right?
We're going to go up here to the right. The campsite is just up here. We're right off the river, and we'll head up that way, and yeah. So, y'all begin to anything else before we begin to move on, or y'all headed on?
Gunloda wants another little sip of her moonshine.
I want to walk over to Gunloda and say, "Are you all right? What happened back there?"
I don't know if I want to talk about it right now.
All
Thanks,
right.
Hal. Thanks for checking on me, but
Sure.
I just need to process. Thank
I
you.
might need some of that moonshine you got.
By all means, sir.
Mm.
Gunloda offers her
That is
moonshine to
true.
anyone who would like some liquid courage.
Okay.
I'll pull my own flask out while you got that going.
Just a reminder, a little sip will do you.
That's right.
There you go. Okay.
Little dabble digging.
So you guys make your way up the road to the right. Ernest leads you up, and the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through a group of trees. And deep into that road, you begin to kind of notice that there are ruts that indicate that there have been the coming and going of wagons. And the canopy of mist and branches suddenly begins to give way to black clouds boiling far above, and there is a clearing here by the river. And the clearing widens to form a small lake, I suppose, of several hundred feet across. And there are 5 colorful round tents, each of about 10 feet or so in diameter. These are pitched outside of a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. And there is a much larger tent near the shore of the lake, and its sagging form is lit clearly from within. And this near this tent, you'll see about 8 or so unbridled horses that are just drinking from the river. So it's very much like a campsite. And
campsite.
Sorry?
A gypsy campsite. I mean, I'm sorry.
Romany.
We prefer the name Vistani.
Yes, sir. My bad.
That is a derogatory term.
I apologize.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. I won't do it again. I promise, Ernest.
I understand it takes a while for people to know that their words can be hurtful.
I am.
But now you know.
Really sorry. Yes, I am very, very sorry, and I apologize.
Okay.
Try very hard not to do again.
So you find yourself, and I can kind of show you what this looks like. Maybe. Gotta just do a couple of things. And so that's kind of what the campsite looks like. Let me center it around for you to get a feel for, what you guys might look like on the road here now.
Nice.
I have put some tokens on here if we need them, but as of right now, I have them hidden. So I just had to make sure I had them hidden. Okay. So you guys are coming up the road here, and so you see the tents that I described, you see the wagons that I described, and you don't see anything according to my screen here, though. Are you guys seeing that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I see the campsite. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So, tell you what, let's, because we're here, I would like to suggest that we take a quick break.
Yes.
I just had a cat sit on me.
Nice.
Derby.
There's
there are owls calling outside, so
there's a 12-step program for that, Shane.
BRB.
But I don't want to quit yet. Okay.
All right. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Or are you back? Or am I interrupting dinner or something?
No, I will hop up and grab my pizza out of the oven momentarily. But yeah, carry on.
Okay.
It's a weird night at the Keener house.
I understand. By the way, there was a new pizza place in Pineville.
I had it
Margot's.
on Wednesday.
Margot's, yeah.
It was okay.
Well, we just lost them as a sponsor. Thanks, Shane.
Sorry. Are you recording now?
Oh, I never stop recording. I just edit this part out.
It was amazing.
And we're back.
What's that new pizza place?
And we're back. Okay, so as when we last left everybody, you had just arrived in the campsite, and so from a distance, or not even from a distance. I mean, you're really kind of coming into view here. I've described the scene that you see, and around the campfire. There is a campfire that you see in the middle of the group, and you see a number of people gathered around, a dozen or more, clearly in the campsite before you guys come in. There's some folks gathered around the campfire. They have musical instruments, and they're kind of playing music and sort of, clapping and such. Kind of an evening campfire kind of thing. And Ernest says, "This where we'll find my granny. If y'all let me take y'all in, and we'll just kind of settle you by the fire, and I'll go tell her we're here."
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So you approach the fire, and there's this older gentleman, kind of has a bit of a paunch, but has got, you could tell he's been a fighter perhaps in his day and probably could still give you a wallop. But he's sitting there, and he's got a bit of a longer gray beard, and he kind of looks up and sees y'all coming. He goes, "Ernest, I see you brought us some visitors. Welcome, friends. Where are my manners? My name is Briscoe Cocagne, and I welcome you to our campsite."
There's a joke I didn't get.
Okay. But please have a seat. And he kind of, Ernest comes over and he whispers in his ear a little bit, and he kind of nods, and they go back and forth. And Ernest kind of heads over to the big tent around over by the lake, and you can hear the music is being played by a number of men around the campfire, 4 or so, that have different types of stringed instruments, and they're just playing a tune that is somewhat haunting. And there's this woman amongst the group. She is looks like she has very similar features to the players of the music, which leads you to believe that they might be related in some fashion. And she starts singing this song, and you hear these words, "Are you tired of me, my darling? Did you mean those words you said, that has made me yours forever since the day that we were wed? Tell me, could you live life over? Would you make it otherwise? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer only with your eyes." And she kind of chokes a little bit as she sings that refrain, and then she goes on, "Do you ever rue the springtime since we first each other met? How we spoke in warm affection, words my heart can ne'er forget. Tell me, could you live life over? Would you make it otherwise? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer only with your eyes." And then the music plays a little bit as if there's a bridge, and it's kind of haunting as that melody that she's been singing continues to be played through the music. And then she comes back in a little softer, a little more somber. "Do you think the blooms departed from the cheeks you thought so fair? Do you think I've grown cold-hearted beneath the load of woman's cares?" And as she sings that last refrain, "Tell me, could you live life over? Would you make it otherwise? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer only with your eyes." You see these tears come down her face, and she kind of goes into a weep, and sheepishly she looks up at everyone and says, "I'm sorry. That song always makes me cry."
Loda has like a little glisten of a tear in her eye. It's just, that was beautiful.
I want to pull Gwendolyn out and start strumming a little bit for her.
Okay. Yeah. So you while they were playing, you were kind of joining in.
Yeah.
So while that song is singing and Jack takes out his axe, which also is a musical instrument.
Gwendolyn. Yes.
Gwendolyn. And
yeah, my axe is an axe.
Begins to play along, and the other members of the band, kind of give you this nod, like, hey, yeah, good job. And so, there's a few other players, and Briscoe, who greeted you all, was tapping along as well. And of course, he as she's weeping, Briscoe gets up and hugs her and just kind of pats her on the back and say, I know. And so, yeah. So
I can walk over and say it was beautiful. That was, thank you so much.
And she's like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. As she looks at you, and she kind of beams with the adulation, and she's like, oh, my manners. Hi, my name's Carlene Cocanye. I belong to him, and she points to Briscoe. He's my daddy.
Okay.
And these are my brothers. And she points and she says Dean and Doug, and there's Rodney over there. And yeah, these are my brothers. And I see you've met my feller. And she looks at the distance where Ernest has wandered off into to get his granny.
Oh, Sly Ernest had a girl and didn't tell us.
Don't tell her that.
So you said her name was Carlene.
Carlene, yes. Carlene Cocanye.
All right.
Carlene.
I expected
Carlene.
expected Charlene.
Wait do you find a Polish translator and look up the definition of the word Cocanye. It might it might equal well, let me spell it for you. Kochanie. Cocanye is how it's pronounced. It's spelled Kochanie, but
It
it's
means sweetheart.
It means darling. All right,
it
that
means
makes sense.
darling.
Darling,
Yeah, so-
sweetheart.
Yeah, Shane, you're the whole Ernest T and Briscoe and Charlene thing. You're not getting it.
Nope.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about it.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Listen, sometimes it's not every single person who walks. I do have standards, okay?
All right, fine. I'm sorry that you've
And
missed this.
I was too into the music at that moment, so yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so they're all around the fire. Stories are being told. In fact, while you're kind of waiting for Ernest to come back, one of the Vistani, unnamed, unintroduced, begins to sort of tell a tale that you can tell this is sort of like it's sort of like a camp meeting meets a union meeting meets a family meeting, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's doing this thing, and this one Vistana starts to tell his story, and as the music has died down and the fire is sort of being stoked, he's sort of sitting over in that dark corner of the fire area, but as the fire is being stoked, the flames come up, and you kind of begin to see as the flame is flickering, there's the licking of the light that kind of brings his face into view. And if you've ever seen somebody tell a story when they're holding a flashlight under their face, it kind of resembles that, only more orangish. And but it's not there to be ominous. It's just he just kind of enters in like stage right, if you will. And he just begins to tell a story that appears to be a familiar one to everybody around, but it's one of those familiar and favorite kind of stories, right? And I'm not digging this music for this part, so we're just going to push that and see what we get. Not necessarily that different. A mighty wizard came to this land years ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you all are standing. A very charismatic man. he thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the Devil Strahd. And as he says Devil Strahd, he says it very whisper-like, so as if he doesn't want his voice to carry across the water to where Strahd might be, and he would hear it. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt, he continues, and he bore them to the castle en masse. And when the Lord Strahd appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. Some say they saw a vampire.
I thought they were going to soil themselves.
A few stood their ground and were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire, as we will say, cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes, and you look at him as if he believes what he is telling you. Thunder shook.
I want to do an insight check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And see, does it sound like it's a story, or
Something
would
he actually
Vosh,
saw.
does it sound like something that Vosh would bristle at?
No. Vosh would not bristle at that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you to do an insight check on some of those Vosh questions, by the way.
Okay.
The thunder shook the mountainside, and a great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard. Yet, by his magic, he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the Devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic couldn't save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body to see, if he had anything of value. But the river Ivlis, I can't even say it either, had already spirited him away. And they all kind of go, "Oh, tell it again. We love that story, And it's just that everybody's just kind of, you can't really, you get the sense that he believes the story. You can tell it's a story he's told this at this campfire many, many times. And you kind of wonder if it's not been embellished from the last time, which was embellished from the time before.
That's fair.
It's probably based off a true story, and then Hollywood got to it. So.
Okay. So as he's finishing the story and everybody's kind of applauding and kind of bantering and kind of patting him on the back, and those who've got him are smoking him and that kind of thing. Ernest returns and says, "Hey, friends, Granny's ready to see you all."
Yay!
Let's go talk to
see
Granny.
Granny. I love Granny.
As we're
Granny has fresh pizza.
yeah.
Damn, I was hoping cookies.
As we're getting out, Shoshana kind of looks up a little bit. She's like, "I know we're gonna run into that. It'll be okay." And continues with the party.
So, Ernest leads you all down towards the river and leads you into the tent, and he kind of holds the door or the tent opening aside for you, and he gestures you into the tent.
Okay.
What do you do?
Let's go see Grandma.
Yeah, I'm.
His granny.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a gentleman elf and hold the flap open for the lady folks to go in first.
Suck
Gunloda
up.
says thank you. Thank you, sir.
So, you all go in, and as you come in, you see this woman sitting at a table that is a lower table, and it's covered in a black velvet cloth, and there are flames of a reddish glow inside this tent that is sort of letting you get a sense of this light, and it's a dim light. And you kind of see that in the middle of the table is a clear spherical object in the middle of the table. Very
I'm gonna say it.
a crystal ball, or
Granny's one of those people.
maybe if you were at on a ride at a theme park where you're in a mansion that might have ghosts in it, you might see something like that.
Yeah.
And she's hunched over, kind of as an older person can be sometimes. And she has this voice that is very different than some of the accents that you've heard here. It's an older voice that is very much from
The old country.
another time and another place. And the familiarity and the cadence of this voice does land on Vash's ears in a very haunting way. And the voice, it crackles with a bit of dryness to it, like dry weeds. And it says, "At last you have arrived." Cackling laughter bursts like mad lightning from her lips, as she is just like delighted that what she knew to would happen has happened, and here you are. I see you have all made it very safely. The brewer, Gonoda. The wizard, sorcerer, Hal. The pretty boy, Jack.
That's all I'm known for. Not a great musician, not a great fighter, just the pretty boy.
The elven ranger with much to prove and little to show for it.
And she's good.
The mystical artificer with a penchant for creation. And this paladin, the young soul, and she holds her hand up and then she closes her eyes. The young soul joined with the old one. And she laughs as if she's remembering. So, I understand you have come to meet me. Shall we meet? And she gestures you all to sit. And there's not necessarily chairs, but there are, pillows and fluffs and, stools and things like that. There's just a hodgepodge of seating, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, you can all sort of make yourself comfortable. And yes, the cat can circle around a couple times and then
and make biscuits.
I do enjoy I do enjoy a good puff. I won't lie.
Gunloda is extremely unnerved by Granny, but she's trying to be real like calm on top. So she wants to be like, what shall we call you, ma'am?
The people here some call me Granny,
Mm-hmm.
some call me Madame Eva.
Ooh, I love that name.
It was the name of my youth. And with that revelation, Shoshana, you would get sort of a tickle.
You're tickling.
A tickle of a thought. So my Ernest has brought you to me. How may I serve you?
Gunloaded does not want to go first. She's like looking at everybody else like,
Well,
Jack's
Madam
feeling-
Ava.
Jack's feelings are kind of hurt right now, so he's gonna.
Oh,
Granny's
sit
kind of my
in the corner.
Granny's kind of my jam. So I'm gonna say,
get it.
Granny, I've been looking all my life for someone like you. I've studied with a lot of people, and you are clearly a woman of wisdom. But
She's too old for you, dude.
whole different thing going on there. But thank you, Jack.
Okay. Just trying to help bro out as I go and sulk in my corner again.
Yeah. Oh man. So Ernest here has said a lot about you, and it seems like there's some dark things happening here, and we're just trying to get a handle on what's going on. And he also said that you could read cards, and I would love to see, because I've studied a lot of stuff, and I would love to see what you can do with cards, and maybe that can help us make sense of what's going on here, or how we could help you. I would love to see this practice of yours.
And she looks at you with an eye of understanding. And she says, I thought he was supposed to be the charming one. Points at Jack. But he's probably still recovering from his encounter with the Bavanchi in your world.
You know about that?
There's a little blue pill for that, my friend.
Oh, that wasn't my problem.
So,
Jack doesn't have that problem.
before we get
got
into the card business, which I'm happy to do a reading for you, I would like to share with you how you might be able to serve me.
Yes, ma'am.
all right.
For centuries, this land has been marred. It has been trapped. It has been contained by forces that have created a hell for the people who exist here. I have gotten to a point where I feel that it is time to act in freeing this land from its shackles on this plane of existence. I believe you've met or Ernest tells me anyway, that you have encountered the Lord of this land, and he does offer significant sway here. But he is not absolute. So, the fates that the cards will reveal through me to you may give you a blueprint, a framework, a direction, a roadmap, as they may say, to help with this endeavor. But it is not, these readings are not asked for, and they are not given to the faint of heart. They are given to people who are committed to the mission, because many have come before you, and they have failed. So, I give you all the opportunity to think about it and not to enter into something impulsively. Although, you are as trapped here as the rest of us until this curse is lifted from the land. The mists that surround this area contain us. We are like fish in a fishbowl, and many of us float to the top.
Gunloda is still unnerved by her. But it's more like Gunloda does not like the cards thing. So she's gonna sit that out. She will happily cheer on her teammates, but she does not. She does not want to do that.
Noted.
Sash looks at her. Sash looks at her and she says, "Anatomy will not fail again.
Again.
I will hear you. I will hear the cards."
I want to hear the cards too. I'm a pretty simple, Madam Ava. I'm a fairly simple elf, and I just want to make sure I understood what you were saying to me. You're saying we got to go take on this Lord, and what exactly does that mean?
It's a fair question.
But she was gonna smack him.
In order for Barovia to be truly free, Strahd must be destroyed. And it is said that the capability to destroy Strahd exist here in Barovia. They're hidden relics of the time of his creation of the abomination that he has become. If you can find those, if you can find allies, you may succeed. The pieces are there. No one's ever put them together wholly
Do
to succeed.
we know how many pieces there are?
7.
8 to 10.
The cards, I cannot answer your question in terms of the allies, but the cards will reveal 5 things that through me I can give you clues in some direction, But you, the task will fall upon you. We are Vistani. We are connected, tethered in a way that we cannot do this ourselves. We need the strength of the others that are not contained in this world of chaos.
Ma'am, I've studied my life for these sorts of things. I want to see these cards. I'm ready for it.
Get
Good
it.
luck, bud.
Get it, Hal.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Go after that girl.
Okay. So, she waves her hand over the table that she's sitting in front of. And in the flash of a light, you see the ball that you were looking at disappears. And in its place, the table is clear. I just have to find where the table is cleared to. There we go. The table is clear.
Nice.
There we go.
So you see
Yeah.
these cards that she begins to pull out, and they're all face down. Actually, you're seeing more than perhaps you should at this point, but that's okay. This is the way Roll20
I
makes.
see nothing. Yeah.
it's fine.
My cards are cooler.
It's totally fine. So, all right. I got to pay attention to what I just did. So that, okay. So, she begins to pull out from her cards. She basically shuffles the cards and she cuts them and places them before her, and you sort of see these cards sitting over here, right? And okay, I just need to make sure I got.
I have a feeling that maybe more than one of us have done tarot cards before, but it's
yeah.
Oh, like characters.
I do
Definitely
in
not
real life.
Jack.
I do in real life, but Gunloda is like freaking out.
Yeah, Jack's unnerved too, but I have my own tarot cards and everything.
Oh yeah.
And
I have several sets because people keep buying them for me.
Yeah. I have it's a thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And but Hal's like, oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally dialed in on this.
So she is going to deal 3 cards.
I think the dog is eating the rest of the pizza, isn't he?
She
She took the plates.
Oh, okay. All right.
He took the plates, so she keep it.
Oh, okay. Phew.
She would in a heartbeat.
She doesn't enjoy pizza bones.
So does Merle.
Okay, let me see how I do this. Supposed to put it on the table. So let's try this.
I was gonna say we won't be mad if you accidentally flip them all over.
Deal. Okay.
It'll ruin the dramatic effect. But
All right, I'm just gonna
We
deal.
will be traumatized either way.
Okay, so
Also true.
you should all have a card, but it's supposed to put it on the D-dang. Oh, I guess. Well, let me try it this way. I did practice this at home.
We totally believe you.
Okay. Deal. All right, I'm going to do it this way. Try it this way.
All right.
Okay, so I have 1 card. Why is it not putting it on the table?
This I cannot answer for you.
It's below the
Yeah.
table, but we can see it.
Yeah, I saw the one card for a moment.
I've not seen any. Yeah.
It's sitting right above.
It's
the-
supposed. Yes, it's supposed to put it on this table, and it isn't doing it for me. I don't know why.
All right.
I did try this, so let me just. I'm gonna do. All right, we'll do it this way. She's doing really well with this. I'm gonna deal it to me.
Apparently, Granny's been into the
Moonshine.
the home
Okay,
brew,
I got it. I
yeah.
got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all.
That dwarven moonshine.
There you go.
Damn.
Okay, so I got it now. So here's the first
Oh,
card.
there we go.
Oh, look.
There it
That's
is.
cool.
Ooh, that is
It's
cool.
so you can zoom in on that.
Yeah.
The first card comes out,
Ooh.
and
It's a rogue you.
it is a
A rogue.
and as it comes out, I gotta find my. I really did practice this.
I believe you, man.
Okay, she says. For the first one, I see a nest of ravens. There you will find the prize. So I
like that.
So what I need to do is I need to write this down so I remember.
Yeah. No, Granny's hot. It's true. Yeah.
Get it, Hal. Get it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there's the first one. The second card comes out. And I'm going to just deal it to me again just because I think that'll work faster.
Yeah, whatever you did worked awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second card comes out.
Oh,
This one is
philanthropist.
the philanthropist.
Yeah.
So this one, I gotta find it. I have a little. Okay. Look to a place where the sickness and the madness are bred. Where the children once cried, the treasure lies still.
Children what?
Right.
Bread.
Children once cried.
Children cried. Okay.
Oh,
Read that one more time.
yes, please.
Okay. Look to a place where the sickness and madness are bred.
Not the children.
Where the children once cried, the treasure lies still. And the third card from this common deck goes here. The merchant. Seek a cask that once contained the finest wine, of which not a drop remains.
On it.
And with that, she moves her hand off the lower deck and reaches up to the higher deck, and she pulls a card.
Mm.
And she pulls that card. Places it here. The Tempter. I gotta find that one.
The tempter.
She seems tempterish.
Keep Jack away from her.
Hey! Ah! Guys, she's too old.
Although, I mean, Jack might have to roll for a performance check, I think.
I'll suck.
She might be old, but I mean, damn.
Guys, just jealous.
1 second. I'm sorry. It's a different model here. This I can find a little bit more quickly if I'd just been paying attention. If I'd only had the knowledge, I would have known. She says to you, I see a child, a Vistana. You must hurry. Her fate hangs in the balance. Find her at the lake. And then lastly, the last card comes out. That is, hold on, that was... Oh, okay, sorry. The last one comes out.
Ooh.
The mists. A Vistana wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at St. Markova's Abbey, near the mists.
A feeling these aren't all actual tarot cards.
No, none of these are actual tarot cards.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, yeah.
These
I
are
was about to say, I don't remember the mists.
these are
Nope.
these are the Taroka cards. We do not play in tarot cards here.
It's not
That is
Jack.
a-
I've got it.
That is a
voice.
foolish parlor game for your
Oh.
world.
Oh,
But
now she's
here,
throwing down.
here, Taroka is the truth.
Can I have the description of the mists again, Grant?
Saint Verova's Abbey near the mists.
The
Yeah.
a Vistana wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at St. Markovia's Abbey, near the mists. And with a wave of her hand, the cards disappear.
She's badass.
She's scary.
Yeah, she's a little creepy.
Yeah.
She's totally my jam.
She's all yours, dude.
I mean, you know.
So I did all that lovely production for you guys, and I didn't change the scene, so that's fine. It's fine.
Whew.
Lots to remember. Okay, so you've had your reading with Madame Ava, and she looks at you all, and it's almost as if throughout this whole thing she's almost been in a trance, and she kind of comes out of it and goes, "The fortunes of Barovia have spoken. Your clues have been granted. The devil awaits." Okay, so the DM needs a I'm over 50 break, so I'll be right back. I'm going to put the BRB on. You guys can talk as your characters, or you can just kind of strategize. I'll be right back. I'll be quick like a bunny.
Try to solve these little riddles.
Should we go to the lake first for the tempter?
Do we know what lake they're referring to?
Yeah, no shit.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming the lake that's by where. I don't know.
And isn't the mist near the lake too?
Aren't the
Yeah.
middle there?
The only thing that we might know exactly where it is for certain is this abbey. I think the rest of it is hard to tell. I'm
Yeah.
gonna share.
Saint
I'm gonna share
Markovia
what
is
she
right.
said with the team.
Yeah, do it. What did you? How did you? What?
You drew from the deck.
Yeah.
I did.
Apparently, I can draw from the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. I typed
They're
up.
beautiful cards. I have many.
Oh, here we go.
rogues,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah, I typed up what. I don't know if y'all can see that in chat or not.
Yeah, I can. The rogue.
Okay.
Okay, we did see a large flock of ravens and crows as we were coming in.
Uh-huh.
So that might be right outside of camp.
Yeah.
Where the sickness and madness are bred, and the children, right?
I have no idea about that one.
The philanthropist, yeah.
Is it the?
Zika cask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do children typically cry? That I mean, if you
Well, that I
said where
don't
they laugh
know.
or play, I could have maybe come up with something. Where do kids cry?
When their parents die.
Or
Yeah,
just running to their parents.
Right?
Where
Or
sickness and the madness are bred.
I don't know where the Sika cask is. That doesn't help at all.
It looks like
Unless it's a
looks like that
Amontillado
may
or
be
something.
A mental health.
Right.
A hospital, maybe?
Yeah. So
Or sickness ward.
a sanatorium or something like that.
Sickness and madness are bred. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You must hurry, her fate hangs in the balance. Find her at the lake. The Vistana wanders this land
Tempter.
alone. Search for
Yeah.
her.
We're going to Broughton.
Tempter,
Oh, wait.
tempter. And I don't know. Right. I feel like we've got St. Markovia, right? That's a place. The rest of it feels a little like where the hell.
Would stop.
All right,
Would
so
Ernest have an idea about certain places, like if there was a sanatorium or something like that?
Right. Team with the so right. So
we're back.
Madam Ava has dismissed us, or we're just sort of standing there stunned.
No, the DM who has been hydrating through the whole 30 for Lent
It's
is
always good.
Yeah. So we're back.
Hydrating for Lent is a long time, man. I'm surprised you're back this quickly. All right.
No, whole 30 for Lent. I'm down 11 pounds. It's fantastic.
Oh.
So we're back.
Ah,
So Granny has waved her cards away, and you get the sense that the audience is over. But before you depart her tent, is there anything else you wish to say, or do you wish to leave in silence?
Gunloda would like to express her thanks for her hospitality and help and guidance, and then get the F out.
And
Okay.
before the F gets out, she looks at you and says, I see you doing great things in Barovia. Your brewer skills will serve you in ways that you do not yet understand.
Gunloda blushes a little bit.
The cask.
Oh. Would you like some of my moonshine, Granny?
I appreciate the offer, but no, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And she was going to
Thank you.
say she's a recovering alcoholic or something like that.
get them
I'm like,
back
good
on
for
the
you,
map.
Granny.
I have my 5-year token.
Yeah.
I am a friend of... No.
Good
Who
for you,
is this
Granny.
door? Who is this door? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, as you begin to leave, she clears her throat in Shoshana's direction. Do you look back at her?
Madam Ava, is there anything else that you have for us? Not the cards, but you.
You, and she's looking directly at you. You are a much older soul. You understand much of this world. It will serve you well. You will find allies here. You may find friends. Old friends that will help you along the way. Listen to their guidance. And when you can, elicit their help. I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
I said, thank you for your time.
And she doesn't say you're welcome or anything. She just sort of sinks her head down, looking at the table as the ball that was there before reappears in front of her. And she just appears to be looking at the ball as you are all departing back into the campsite, where the flame is still lit around the fire pit. It has died down a little bit, and some of the Vistani that you've seen around that fire has sort of begun to break up. You know, because y'all got there at the beginning of the duskish part of the evening, and that's why the fire was lit. And then you went in and had an audience with Granny that seemed to go a lot longer. When you come back out, you realize that more time has passed than you realized. And it wasn't that anything weird happened. It's just, you know, sometimes when you're having a conversation, you think, oh, this will take 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, it's an hour and a half.
It's that southern goodbye.
Right.
Exactly.
Or like playing D&D. Yeah.
Or that too. So, you're out in the campsite amongst the other Vistana. What would you like to?
We have not had dinner yet. I think it would be time to rest.
I gotta say, I'm a little famished myself.
It is good.
So, hey, Ernest, what you got to snack on around here?
Oh, friends. Sorry, wrong accent. Friends. I'm still stuck. I'm still locked into Granny.
Yeah.
You can tell she's my granny. Sometimes I hear her talking. I just want to sound just like her.
Bless.
But anyhow,
Bless your heart.
well,
Ain't
we don't
that cute.
we don't have much, but what we do have, we're certainly happy to share. It would be helpful if you had your own utensils and stuff like that. But we've got some meat and we've got some bread, and you know, so we'd be happy to share just a little bit, of course. We might even have some vegetables and stuff that we root vegetables that we get a hold of. You know, those arsh taters and stuff like that. You know,
What about that one fruit?
That one
that
fruit.
one fruit. Well, you know,
See, this is why I
You-
asked, because if
you-
it's an apple, how are you going to share it?
this is hard. And he kind of blushes. He says, "Well, you met that young lady out there that was singing. Well, sometimes I like to bring her a something special that not everybody
Aw.
gets."
Well, that's sweet, Ernest. That's sweet.
It is, Ernest. You're a good man. Now, where is St. Markovas?
Nice.
You mean the Abbey?
Yes, sir.
That's the one.
It's all the way. Gosh, it's on the other side of Barovia. It's over near Kresk.
Let's get some food.
Yeah.
And let's talk about where Kresk is. Maybe in the morning.
Yeah, it's so to kind of give you a sense of the lay of the land. Now that you've talked to Granny and you've probably been given some clues, we came in the eastern part near Barovia, the village. There's like Barovia, the village, and then there's Barovia. Have you ever heard anything like that before? It's kind of crazy if you ask me. But so in the east, there's the woods. Those are great woods to hunt in if you're not afraid of wolves. And
What?
did I say something?
Because there's good. Well, I'm just laughing because like if you're not afraid of wolves, but what else is there to hunt if there's not wolves to
Well,
hunt?
there's rabbits and other various critters and varmints that you can. They're good eating. And those squirrels, those squirrel brains, they make you smart.
Now they do. I got a good recipe for squirrel gravy.
Oh, you
If you
are
want to swap later, I'll be
woman.
down.
Carlene and I are betrothed, but if something happens with that, I'll let you know.
Goodness.
Ernest,
then-
that was not. I'm not flirting with you. I just. Like
Oh, I'm sorry.
squirrels.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My manner. They're trying to work on my manners, and how do you do?
Yeah.
And
I won't tell her, don't worry.
and Jack over here, I've been taking up some bad habits from him, I think. So anyhow,
Nice.
in the east there are these
I'm just gonna
woods
stay quiet.
that are great. Now to the south of here, there's a big mountain, Mount Gackus. To the north is Mount Baratok, and up there you'll find Lake Zarevich. Yeah, it sounds like Strahd von Zarevich. Guess what? Big surprise.
Wait, where's the lake?
That's north. So to the east of where we are right now, and I'm not real super good with directions, but I'll try to give you a feel. If we were due north of where we are, on the other side of this lake, on the other side of those woods, and on the other side of that lake, you go up those hills. That's where you'll find Ravenloft. That's where he lives.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, to the northwest of where we are right now, you will find Lake Zarevich, and you will find Mount Baratok. And there's some more woods around there. And by the way, all these woods here in Barovia, we call them the Sphalic woods, but there's different ones in the west, in the east, etc. Now, about southwest from here is Mount Gackus. And then to the east of here, you will find Lake Baratok, not to be confused with Mount Baratok. And you will find Kresk. And Kresk is all the way to the east, or west of here, rather, near the Raven River. So those are major landmarks that I know of. And the abbey that you asked about, St. Markova's Abbey, is in Kresk. And between here and Kresk, near Lake Zarevich, is the village of Vallaki.
No, sorry. Okay.
So those are the main areas that I have been to, know about. But for the most part, my work here is done. Y'all hired me to guide you here to see my granny, and I have some other things that I got to go off and do. But I think I can help. Giving you that information should be helpful.
Well, thank you, Ernest. It was very helpful.
So, if you want my advice,
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
My advice would be, before going to Kresk, you're a heck of a lot closer to Barovia, the village, and that might help you meet some people that can maybe be these allies that Granny likes to talk about. Because there are others out there too.
Other allies or other enemies?
I think that both of those
Okay.
are good
Fair.
and fair things. But to make a journey to the west of here, you might be good to see if there's any provisions or help that you could get out of Barovia. I'm just saying that based on the corpses that we've seen and the letter you all found, but y'all do what you want.
We do.
I'll be in there from time to time to get an apple. And he winks.
I'm gonna grab him and I'm gonna say, so how are things going with Carlene?
Well, you know we're betrothed.
Quite or not.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, but her you met her daddy.
Yeah.
Briscoe.
He's a scary dude.
Well, he's
He's what?
he's kind of no. I didn't say that. Don't you dare say I said that. I will deny.
You didn't say it. You did not say it.
You just nipped that
misheard.
in the bud. I did not say
My
that.
words, not yours. Got it.
Misheard.
And he makes
Anyways, go
a
ahead.
little gesture, not of the cross, but he makes a little gesture that makes you think he's like warding off evil spirits based on what you just said.
He's doing a dab.
Toy.
Yeah. So
I was actually thinking that would be a great thing for Rose's religion. Just like, when she's praying. Dab.
Yeah.
To the God.
oh boy.
We gotta get the young kids to watch the show. We gotta get Gen Z's watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
No?
No, we will, because my daughter is totally stoked to watch this.
Oh,
See? And we
see.
gotta speak on her level.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, Fortnite.
So, wow.
I worked with kids for a long time.
I see.
Sure.
So after all of that anxiety dies down, he says, Briscoe just, he doesn't think I'm good enough for her, which is why I'm working on my manners.
Okay, so while
But sometimes
says
I
that-
just want to go, but I don't.
yeah, so while he says that, I'm gonna grab Jack, and I'm gonna say, Jack, I think we can help him out.
Oh,
Yeah,
you want me to help?
let's hook him
I
up.
thought your response would be, Jack, stop talking to him.
Yeah, no, I'm like, you start a song.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I pull out Gwendolyn, and I start. Oh, wait, hold on. Quiet song? Or a crazy song?
It's a love song.
Power ballad.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly the
power
power ballad. Yeah.
Yeah, I start.
So you start playing.
A total eclipse of the heart.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. And so at the words "turn around, bright eyes."
Yes. I'm gonna do my cantrip of so I'm gonna light him up.
Do I have the dancing lights cantrip?
Yeah. No, I don't know if yeah.
No, but do I?
I have minor illusion, so I'm gonna
No, I
fire
didn't get. I usually do get dancing lights because me being the one human, I try to light everything up since some people get dark vision. Nope, but for some reason I really wanted to stick with
elf. I'm like, my
Okay.
elf and half is
I really wanted to stick with Vicious Mockery this game.
that's good.
Okay.
Haven't used it
So as you guys begin to help him out,
Yeah.
and the turnaround bright eyes happens, Carlene over at the fire turns around and looks in your general direction. And initially she sees Ernest, but then she sees Jack.
Jack.
Backfire.
Sorry,
And
I'm
her
just so-
face,
Oh man.
seeing you play that axe, her face just lights up, and she kind of gets this puppy dog eyes looking at you, and Ernest turns to you and says, "You're gonna have to go."
Hold on. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do a persuasion. I'm gonna look at her and I said, Ernest taught me everything I knew. He wrote this song, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the guy that you see in front of you right now.
Make a persuasion check.
I will make.
No. Make a deception check.
Be sure, because it was a gnat. It was a gnat. It was a gnat.
Nat 20?
Oh.
Nat 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was my persuasion because I had just clicked on it.
That's fine.
Cool.
That's fine.
Yes.
We'll go with it because you got the Nat.
I got the gnat.
And she.
Okay, let me tell you something about Jack. Every single time I've ever played Jack, I make gnats on the most useless rolls. You'll never see me make a
I
gnat in
think
a
this
fight.
is very useful. Come on.
I've
agree.
never made
I
a
think
gnat
so
in
too.
a actual fight with Jack. It's only been on things like this.
And as
This
her
is useful to the
gaze,
story.
as her gaze of the puppy dog eyes moves from you, Jack, and transfers over to Ernest,
Well done.
you see Ernest as he was finished saying, "You've got to go." What you didn't notice, but Quill and Sosh did, was that he had his hand on the hilt of a dagger
Oh,
that he is now letting go of.
Good job, Jack.
Yeah. Well
oh
done,
well,
Jay.
no, hold on. I didn't know this. I just think Ernest is a super chill dude. He's cool. That's why I told him. That's why I told her. Like he taught me everything I knew.
Hook him up.
He is
Yep.
thebomb.com.
She looks at you very funny about the word .com, but she thinks it's some strange word from a mystical place.
Yep.
But yeah, so
What is
you,
this .com?
you have transferred the love and you have restored the love and affection of Carlene back to Ernest, but you still get a sense that there is a fickleness there.
Sasha is going to walk over to Briscoe.
Yep.
You know, he has been so helpful to us. He is, you must be very excited to have him as a son.
Well, he's not my son yet, but I appreciate you. And he looks at you, and he looks at the armor that you wear as a paladin, and he sees your holy symbol, and he zeroes in on that silver dragon. And his demeanor changes with a little bit of a tone of respect, more than the gregariousness that you were first greeted with. He's really sized you up as you're talking to him. And then he pauses and he says, I really appreciate your saying that. He's got potential.
You should be proud.
Well, I think I can be. So, I think we're getting you guys some victuals, and y'all are welcome to share our campsite for the evening. Everybody kind of finds their own spot. All these tents are pretty well occupied, but you have your own provisions, I suppose, if you need a place or.
Sorry, I just saw him making biscuits.
I know. I see. Yeah, you got somebody over there making those kitty biscuits, I think.
He's pretty kitty.
Oh, you guys are noticing he's really a cat too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Friend, we see all kinds of things here. Nothing really shocks us. Okay, so I got to go to my own retirement here and head off to bed, I think. But is there anything you need before I head out?
Thank you, Ernest.
Thank you, sir.
That was not Ernest. That was Briscoe.
Oh, it's Briscoe.
Briscoe.
Oh,
Sorry.
Thank you, Briscoe.
There's a gravelness to the voice.
I think Ernest has gone off with
Yeah, Ernest is over there with Carlene, and if
Oh,
anything, this conversation is distracting from the darkness where there's a lot of smoochy sounds going on over there.
Oh yeah. There's a new tent being formed over there.
So, is there anything else you'd like to do before you retire? I don't believe y'all brought a tent of sorts, so you're probably in a bedroll on the ground.
That's
Feels
fine.
like. Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
disappointed. I've never slept in a yurt. I was looking forward to that.
Get me drunk enough. I won't care about the bedroll.
Well, there's a place up on the other side of here that's got this peyote stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You might find a yurt there, I think.
It's a yogurt. Yes.
Yeah.
Looking for a yogurt.
I look at Gunloda and I'm like, shall we?
I mean,
Yeah, Jack's all in, right?
Put my arm out, waiting for her to put her hand over.
So,
and we skip them.
Anything y'all would like to do before y'all retire for the night?
Josh would like to cast Divine Sense first,
Okay.
just to make sure that there's nothing that they need to be concerned about.
Yes.
Sure. So you cast Divine Sense, and would you like to describe what that manifests for you? Is there a unique thing that your spell casting would do?
It's just detects good and evil, senses anything affected by the Hallows spell.
No, I understand. I understand what the spell does. I just didn't know if there was a way you wanted to describe the way that the cast of the spell. I'm sorry, I wasn't more specific.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
She's going to look around and listen and just kind of see if there's anything that's uncomfortable, and kind of walk around the camp to see if there's anything kind of in the radius.
Yeah. So as you walk around the radius of the campsite, almost like you're praying and meditating to yourself, this divine sense goes out, and you get the sense that within this circle, with these people, this will be a safe night. And a sense of peace comes over you almost from within to suggest that this would be a good night to get some rest, because you don't know when that may be again.
Do we notice that they have guards kind of on watch as we kind of...
They're not really guards. I mean, these are all people that are, they're equipped. They do have weapons, but you see them more as defensive-ish weapons, although they could be offensive if need be. And you do get a sense that there is a regular watch within the group, which you're aware of just by what you've observed.
Sash might ask if they need additional, or if they need someone to help for the night.
Okay.
With the watch.
And one of the other Briscoes, Rodney, not Briscoes.
We knew what
That
you
was
meant,
good.
though.
I like that. Yeah.
One of Briscoe's sons, one of the Cocagnes, Rodney Cocagnes, is the one on the watch. Said, and he has a pipe that's in his mouth, and he kind of takes it out and he goes, I reckon.
Caught him on one of his talkative nights.
And he puts the pipe back in, and Ernest, not Ernest, one of the other ones says, you can take the first watch. That's the easy one.
That's nice.
You can, and he's kind of gesturing you over because you're the only one that offered, right? So you will do the watch with that individual. What do the rest of you want to do?
I'm going to find me one of them poofs and kind of, curl up in a little ball.
Okay.
Gunloda wants to just, if she can, just hang out by the fire, put her little bedroll down. She is completely comfortable sleeping outside.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Roll up under one of the wagons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep by the fire too.
So, Sash, you're on a watch for the first 4 hours of the night. You are on a watch with Dean Cocagnes, who is one of the folks that you had seen playing an instrument earlier around the fire. He has put his instrument away, and he has a sort of a dagger on his belt, very similar to the dagger that Ernest was clutching earlier. There is also a it's not really a scimitar, but it's like a curved blade kind of thing. And you guys have the first watch, and you're on the hold on a second. You're on the northern part of the campsite, so you're kind of between the trees on the southern part and the river on the top part. It's a river kind of lake-ish area. I would like for you to make a perception check, please.
Unnatural 20.
An unnatural 20. Okay.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Yeah. So you and Dean are keeping watch, and he kind of taps you on the shoulder, and he points out to the water, and you see the light of the fire that is still dying down is reflecting enough out that you kind of catch this shape of this large flying entity that comes down into the water, and you see a talon reach in, and as it emerges back up, it has this one of the largest lake fish you've ever seen clutched in its claws as it flies off towards the trees in the distance. And Dean looks over to you and he goes, "You ever seen an owl bar?"
Wow. They are quite amazing to watch.
There's something. Every now and again, you get a blessing like that. And it's going to be a good night. And your watch is over.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
So, the rest of the night, the watch is handled by the Vistani. And morning is broken.
Like the first morning.
Like the first morning.
I had a question.
And
We
it
all
is.
did.
Oh,
Sorry, we all did a long rest, correct?
yeah, y'all got a long rest out of that.
Did
Ooh,
Sasha technically get a short rest because of watching?
Well, when you're doing a watch like that overnight, unless you're fighting, you're really kind of resting, but you're staying alert, so that would count.
As a long?
Yeah, she'll get the long rest too. Yeah. Usually what you would do is you would split up the watch, and if you're doing a 2-hour watch here and a 2-hour watch there, etc., as long as they're not fighting or really moving, but you're just kind of resting but staying alert, that's considered part of the rest.
Okay. No, I was just asking because I have an ability that helps individuals who do short rests, not long rest.
Totally fair.
So.
Totally fair.
So I thought I'd give her that ability, but.
So it is almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to say, just for story purposes, this is a good stopping point.
Yep.
Because I know, Todd, you've got to go in about 5.
Yep. Appreciate it.
No worries. So I appreciate everybody tonight. So do y'all want to try to sort out Easter weekend now, or do y'all need to think about it?
Probably think about it.
Okay.
I just want to say the following, what would be 2 weeks after Easter, the 17th of April.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in West Virginia, so I don't know if I'll be able to. I mean, I'm sure I could do my laptop if necessary. But.
Well, here's the thing.
That would give us justification to just switch the alternative dates.
Yeah. So
play again on the 10th and then play every other weekend afterwards.
And then we'll adjust.
The 10th is my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
So that is a bad idea.
JK.
So
LOL.
another thought would be we could do like well, we'll figure it out. So
Yep.
yeah. So we'll
Let's get some chat going and
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We're pretty wide open here, so
yeah. I mean, I can be, and I don't mind doing it Easter weekend. We could even do it that Friday night if y'all wanted instead of Saturday if that suited. I don't know.
That would be a Good Friday. No, I'm sorry.
God
Nice.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I could be on my laptop.
Well,
You know.
look, we don't want to. Obviously, we're trying to
We'll
keep some.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
see.
figure it out.
And I'm happy to do it Easter weekend. I'm totally down with that. I just
Yeah.
what I'm able to do and and how other people observe that event is
Yeah.
two
Easter
different things.
isn't a thing for me. So
Monday, Thursday is April Fool's.
other
That's
than
true.
with it being, if it was a Saturday night, other than me having to be up at like beyond 0 dark 30,
Are y'all doing a sunrise service?
sadly yes.
Favorite service of the year.
You don't have to get up at like 0 dark and drive like an hour into the country.
Hey,
I don't.
I once had
Look, that
I was
look.
gonna say.
I once
Technically, no, you don't.
I feel
I
like
once-
he needs a charisma roll there. That's the,
Amazing check.
I'm gonna roll with advantage.
I once had to do that in Waxhaw, Chris, where I actually had to get up. Not only did I had to get up at 0 dark 30, I had to get there and set up all the musical gear and the monitors and everything. Todd,
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, man.
go be a grand elf.
See ya.
Good time.
Yep.
That was awesome.